What is up, my friends? And you are very, very welcome along to a relieved and happy match reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool have gone over to Germany, come from a goal behind to beat Eintracht Frankfurt by 5-1. There is a lot we want to talk about and address over the next few minutes. What we should do going forward, who stood up to be counted tonight, and what went right and wrong. So as always, the floor is yours. We want you to have your say. I'm going to give you my take on the game, then we're going to go through and ask you for yours. If you would like to submit your player ratings to be part of our Anfield Agenda player ratings video, make sure that you scan the QR code in the bottom right hand corner to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp, or of course the big QR code that was on the screen before I went live. I want to again say thank you to everyone who joined us on the watch along. It was a pleasure sharing this great performance with you, and right now I'm just going to give you my brief take on what I seen out there today before we get into the chat and ask you for your opinion. The man of the match vote is also open, so if you'd like to cast your vote, the options that you have today are Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz, or Hugo Ekitike. So again, you will decide who the man of the match is. Right, so for me, look, we started off, and even though we went behind, if you were watching the game with me, you would have heard me say, I think this system gives us more solidity, and we just looked better. We looked more solid. We looked like we understood what we were doing a bit more. And yes, we went behind, and look, there's lots to talk about with that goal. Wirtz was dispossessed too easily, and then it was just a couple of passes and we were opened up. But that's where the negativity stops tonight, because other than that, I thought we were brilliant. Turned it around with 3 goals in 9 minutes in the first half. Great to see our 2 centre-backs getting headed goals as well. Lovely to see Hugo Ekitike go through on goal and finish as well as he did. Big shout out to Andy Robertson for a good ball to release him as well. But there was still a lot to do from Hugo, and he did it well. After that, look, it was just a matter of how many, and Liverpool just kept going and going. Cody Gakpo got himself a goal. Florian Wirtz grabs a couple of assists as well. And it was just, without a doubt, Liverpool's best performance of the season. So I'm really happy with it. I'm sure you guys are as well. We'll talk about what happened when Salah came on as well as we go through the stream. But for me, happy and relieved Liverpool fan. And let's just hope that we can carry that confidence and form into the game on Wednesday. Right, where are we at? So, super chats to catch through. Where am I? This one. I think this one from Will. Wirtz, Jones and Szoboszlai has been solid all night. Know Your Threat said, this team composed today, not force and play. Savour the Flavour said, keep it shaved, we love our team of Scouts or Arnie. Am I on the wrong end of this? I am. Sorry, I'm confusing myself here. Right, where are the super chats I have to catch back up on? This one from Matthew. Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones midfield to grab his back. Owen said, love Mo, but he's got to go. Roger said, I hope Mo doesn't play this like this was in the AFCON. Vouder said, grab Szoboszlai or grab McAllister. He should be on the bench till he becomes a team player, said Liquid. Cal Down said, Mo's the only player who hasn't helped his cause. Do you know what, mate? Look, there's a couple of things. Whenever we discuss Mohamed Salah, there are some people who get very defensive in the chat. So I want to just address it like this if I can. Nobody is ever doubting what Mohamed Salah has done for this football club. Nobody. But to have a go at anybody who is honest and says that he hasn't been doing enough, I think is unfair to those viewers. Now, of course, there are people who are going to go too far in the opposite direction and say, get out of my club and whatnot. And that's not on. But it is absolutely right to say that this team looked better without Mo in it. It is absolutely right to say that when he came on tonight, we've seen why he shouldn't be starting games. He could have had a hat-trick in the time he was on. And on top of that, he could have set somebody else up for a couple of goals, always chose to take on the shots and didn't put away one of them. So let's be honest about it. His form at this moment in time doesn't deserve a starting place, and the team looked better balanced and the team looked better without a minute. That means nothing about what he's done in the past. Doesn't mean we don't love him, doesn't mean he isn't a hero. But we have to think about what's best for the team. And we have to think about what's going to get us back up that league table. And as much as it pains me and many others to say it, we look better without him in that team tonight. And I don't think that anybody saying that is unfair. So can all the people who want to just defend Salah by pissing all over everybody else's opinions just take a step down? Because they're perfectly within their rights to say that we look better without him in that team tonight. And as I said, I have to try and be balanced in what I say on here. And 100% think that we were better tonight without him in the team. What that means moving forward, I don't know. But I liked what I seen tonight. I thought the game was much more free-flowing. I thought we looked much more composed in the big moments. And that could have been 6, 7, 8, 9-1 tonight. So I want to say well done to the team. Well done to Arna for, one, changing it up. Because, you know, whether we were talking about personnel or system, Arna changed it up and it had the desired impact. Now, what it looks like moving forward, I hope he doesn't revert back. This looked like a system that we were able to get 2 forwards in. And for what it's worth, and we mentioned this in the watch along, I have no problem if Mo was one of those 2 forwards going forward. But right now, he wouldn't be in the deserving 11 based off form. Joe Lewis, how are we, Joe? And it was lovely to meet you, Joe, at the show. And thank you so much for coming along, bro. Said, much better game, Craig. How'd you rate Vert's game? So apart from being brushed off the ball too easily, Joe, in our half and then that leading towards the goal, I thought Verts got better and better as the game went on. Got himself 2 assists tonight, which is absolutely brilliant to see. And hopefully this is now the start of him announcing himself as a Liverpool player. Itachi said, today we look like a team. Yes, spot on. And that's important, right? Not a group of individuals, a team. And teams win leagues, not individuals. We looked so much better this game for the next game. Thank you for that, Nightmare to the AM. David Massett said, love Mo, but the balance and movement look better without Mo tonight. Also want to thank you and your lovely community for the support you've shown me after the loss of my father. I'm still so sad, mate, that you did lose your dad. I expect nothing less of our community than the support that they showed you, mate, because they're absolutely great people, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you all every night. And thank you, David. Rafe, see, I remember this time, Rafe. I remembered how to pronounce it. Said, and we can hear crying in Turin. Happy with the result. Delighted with the result, mate. Delighted. Finally, Slot grew a pair. Said, Afra. Bradley Masterclass, said that meme guy. He was brilliant, wasn't he? I'm glad you brought that up, mate, because I think, look, Conor Bradley hasn't looked at his best so far this season. But coming into that game tonight, I thought he was exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Directness, tenacity, was looking to get on the ends of things as well and make stuff happen. That was a much, much, much improved performance from Conor Bradley. LFC Josh said Dominic Szoboszlai is a gem. I love him so much. I'm right there with you, Josh. And that goal as well, mate. What a strike from Dom. Like, just buried it, bottom corner. Lovely strike, clean as you like. Steen Christensen said, I think we are better without Salah. Well, look, I'm going to ask that one. Here's a way to say it. Give me a no or a yes, one-word answers. So, would you start Mohamed Salah against Brentford? Yes or no? And we'll see what people think. We can't vote on it because we've got the man of the match poll up. But would you start Mohamed Salah against Brentford? Yes or no? And we'll see what most people think. And look, I'm looking through here, and I swear I'm not trying to be biased, but Harish said yes and no. Everyone else is saying no. Everyone. Yeah. Honestly, other than that yes or no, I don't know if I've seen a yes in the chat yet at all. There's a yes there. There's one in there from Asif. But look, it's over. Tyler Bow Productions said yes. There was another 1 or 2 yeses in there as well. Ultimately, though, it's overwhelmingly no, as you can see. Bissy, no as well. Welcome in, my mate. Great to see you in. So yeah, look, couple of yeses in there. Jay Gonzalez said yes. Husani Hussein said yes. Gordon Kenton said yes. So yeah, look, I wouldn't, for what it's worth. I would say Chiesa's more deserving. But look, I just wanted to put it out there to see how people were feeling. It was just a relief to see the performance so well, though. Look, I feel Salah didn't do himself any good when he came on. He could have had a hat-trick in there. And I'm not saying they were sitters and he should have, but he could have. And he didn't. And it just looks like he's a man that just isn't confident at the minute. This one, Skay Hoots, said, great to see you smiling, Craig. What an absolute belter of a performance. So great to see Wirtz getting those 2 assists. Hopefully more to come. Thank you, mate. It's been it's a lot easier to be happy, smiling, and content after a performance than having to pick the bones out of another negative result, because nobody wants to see Liverpool losing from our side, and it's a lot easier for me to smile and come on here, especially when we play like that, because I think most of us would say that's our best performance of the season, not just because of the scoreline, but the old performance. The Red King said Salah has to play this team and formation at the weekend. Much love from Australia. Maybe one or two slight changes, like if Gravenberch is fit, you could make an argument to put him back in. Bradley would start, I would say, instead of Frimpong. But other than that, yes, you could make an argument to throw Chiesa in there as well. I'm not sure how I feel about Wirtz playing in a wide right position, but I guess with the system the way it was one avenue and one option. But I agree in the sense I don't think we should be too far away from that team at the weekend. Good to see Arna bringing on Joe Gomez as well to give Canada a bit of a breather. And look, let's give our two centre-backs some flowers today. We've been critical of them defending set pieces recently, but both of them showed up today with two tremendous headed goals, so well done to both of them. Frozen said Wirtz passes and one touches were impressive. With everything completely clicks, it'll be a masterclass. Looking forward to seeing it. I'm with you. Like I said, anyone that's been slagging him off, I think they're going to be eating their words sooner or later, because he's too good for him not to come good. Hannes Carlson said, I've always been fond of the 4-4-2 formation. Look, I hope this is an actual change from Arna and not just one night's tactical tweak, because that 4-4-2 gave us a much better balance. And look, sometimes as fans we get overly caught up on the formation, and look, it does change in games as well. At times there it looked like we were playing with a 3-2-5. Like if we bring up this heat map from the first half and you can see the average positioning of our players in attack, you can see there Frimpong far more advanced on the right and Robertson tucking in to become the left-sided third centre back. So that little graphic there gives you an indication of what we wanted to do. Now, if the manager sticks with that system, I think it's going to bring us more joy, because we just looked better balanced. And yes, we conceded a goal in possession again, but for me, I feel far more comfortable seeing the team play tonight the way we did than I have at any other game this season. Where was I at? This one, Matthew. Matthew Walt said, my smile is back, shackles are off. Yes, Lord Craig. Same, dude. Same. I feel so much more happier. So much happier, I should say. Just relieved as well. Rafe said, scared to get carried away. Frankfurt lost 5-1 3 times. I know, mate, but we should have been beating them, and we beat them. We did what we should have done. You're right not to get overly carried away with it, but my God, it's a relief, isn't it? Losing 4 on the bounce is not something we really have to suffer much as Liverpool fans. Arthur Smith, thank you, bro, for being with us as a member as well for 19 months. Arthur said, turning point, hope we build on this performance. No one or beats said, for me, Szoboszlai deserves man of the match. Defended, assisted, scored, clean press and confidence wins games. I agree. I would give Dominic Szoboszlai man of the match tonight as well if I had a vote. I can understand Wirtz getting some love as well in the vote, but for me, I'm with you, mate. Dominic Szoboszlai would be my man of the match. Let's have a look though. We've had over 5,000 votes so far. Still time for you to vote for your man of the match. The options are Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz and Ugo Ekitike. Also, don't forget to drop a like on the stream for us. The Reds are back winning. It's got to be worth 1,000 likes, right? Chris Shaw said, I wouldn't start Salah for the foreseeable. I don't disagree. And look, we're going to be called haters, mate. The Salah FC fans are going to call us haters, but I think the proof of the pudding tonight was in the eating. And if there's one thing I know, it's eating pudding. And we were just better. We looked better balanced tonight. I don't think anybody can argue with that. RS5Q said, Federico yet again proved himself. Just to think Slot didn't want him in the Champions League squad. What more can he do to get the respect he deserves? Here. I would argue he should have started this game tonight as well. But he came on at halftime and he made a difference. It'll be interesting to hear from the manager about Isak, but let's have a look here. I have a couple of bits and pieces. Mo Salah straight down the tunnel at full time. Loads of positives to take from tonight for Liverpool, but he looked in a strop. said Lewis Steele. Now, I want to focus on this for a minute, because this isn't you, this isn't me, this isn't a fan saying this. So Lewis Steele said, Mo Salah, straight down the tunnel at full time. Lots to be positives to take from tonight for Liverpool, but he looked in a strop. The only person Mo has any right to be annoyed at the minute is Mo, because he had chances to make sure he's in the manager's thinking again tonight when he came on, and he missed them all. And he also didn't lay on a couple of passes for his teammates that could have got us another goal. So if he is in a strop, tough. And I say that with all love and respect, but tough. You know, you've got to earn your right to play. Reputation doesn't win us leagues. Performances do. And for whatever reason, the great man just isn't playing as we know the great man can. And nobody should be above critiquing or being held to account for the performance level. So if he is in a strop, I certainly hope it's with his own frustrations from his own lack of goal-scoring prowess, because he's no reason to be in a strop at anybody else, because they gave him plenty to do tonight when he came on, plenty of opportunities, and, you know, it's nobody else's fault. Jay Gerban said, this sounds very much like an American football coach, but I feel like Slot is micromanaging instead of letting them free flow like last year. We spoke about that a little bit earlier on, mate, and I think most people would agree with you. Like, there's an old saying that, and I can't remember if it was Brian Clough or somebody else, that football's a simple game complicated by idiots, and it's not too far wrong. We've all heard and seen Pep Guardiola overthink things at times. And I feel like Arne Slot has done that to some extent as well. Just let the lads go out there and do what they do, which is obviously very good when you give them the freedom to play like we did tonight. The decision-making was better. The progression was better. We were moving the ball through the lines quicker. It was just far better to watch for Liverpool fans than any other performance we've had. And this was the first time with this system. And we've already shown an improvement with it. So imagine if we can get this system drilled in and we get Isak and Ekitike, or Isak, Ekitike and Salah rotating through that front three, or front two, I should say, excuse me. There's lots and lots to be positive about from that game tonight. And Arne best not go backwards and revert back. Stevie Boy said, did Liverpool sell Salah in the summer? Thoughts? So I'm going to say no, but not because I wouldn't. I'm going to say no because I don't think he would be sold or wants to be sold. Remember in his last contract situation, Rami Abbasisa said that there's no way that they were going to take a sale inside the last year of his contract. So unless there's a change of heart, unless it's made very clear to him that he is falling down the pecking order, I'm not writing Salah off yet. I'm not. I don't know why he isn't anywhere near his best. I don't know if it's a mixture of Diogo, if it's a mixture of new teammates, if it's a mixture of lack of confidence or form. But I'm not a hater and I'm not here to write him off. But I am trying to be fair to say he doesn't deserve to be in the starting 11 at the minute. That's not to say that won't change in a few weeks or a month. But right now, you know, he probably deserves to be on the bench. Maxim said, we also look better without Isak. I don't think we know how to use him yet. I think that's fair as well. I did think in the first half, Szoboszlai and Wirtz were kind of figuring him out a little bit. You know, he had a couple of opportunities, Isak. One nice ball lifted over the top that he forced a good save from the keeper. And another one, he went a little bit wide right and then again forced a save from the keeper at the near post. But we don't look anywhere near as comfortable with him yet as we do with Ekitike, who has just slipped in seamlessly. So, again, I agree with your point. Ryan said, what a breath of fresh air. Salah can't start next game, especially after not squaring it to Wirtz for his first goal. So I've seen a couple of people reference that, Ryan, and I must admit, mate, I didn't look up to see which moment or where Wirtz was. So, you know, I'm going to have to watch it back before I can really comment on it. But if there was a chance to slip Wirtz in for his first goal, and it was the right decision to slip him in and he didn't do it, then that's not good enough. And that's selfish. Now, like I said, I haven't seen it and I don't remember it, so it'd be unfair of me to be overly critical, but you're not the first person to say it, and I dare say you won't be the last. Colin Flores said, Salah not squaring that sums it up, no way. So again, look, straight away, there's another comment about it. So, you know, it must have annoyed a fair few people, and you dare say if it was the other way around, you know the ball would be squared. So, yeah, if it was selfish, then he needs to be accountable for that. Christian Said, I would start Federico. So happy for today. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I'm delighted as well. Christy, lovely to see you again, brother. Always nice to see you in. Relieved, happy, content, all the words. Right, I want to read through some notes coming in after the game, by the way. Where are we? Where are we on this one? So, Anfield Edition also ran a poll, and they said, controversial, but should Salah start next game? And 91% of people said no. So I don't think you guys are on your own. Oh, okay, so here's the one. Oh, that's fucking disgraceful. Sorry, apologies for the language. I've now got a still image of the one you guys are talking about, and that's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable that Salah didn't square that ball. No, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. That's greed. I've just seen it now. Do you know what? I might be able to pull this up on screen. 1 second. Let me just drag this up. So there it is. Now, I'm sorry, but not squaring that is unforgivable because one, it's the right thing. You know, if the angle was a bit better, you maybe understand Salah taking a shot. But he's left-footed. So for him to open up his body to be able to manipulate that ball past the goalkeeper is not the right angle. The right ball there is to just slide that across the 6-yard box and it's a tap in for Florian Wirtz and he's off and running. And Salah didn't do that, and that's, you know, I hadn't seen it until that still image, and that's just unacceptable. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, that's greedy. And thank you for sharing that with me as well, Keane. Some quotes now from Hugo Ekitike. He said, it was a great feeling to score. It was something special for me to come back. I would say at home. I know everyone's here. It was important for me to come and score my first in the Champions League. And again, delighted for Hugo that he did get that first goal. Virgil van Dijk, he said, I'm in the football business for quite a while. We're disappointed losing 4 games. It didn't happen in my time losing 4. It's something you have to deal with and plug the outside noise. He loves talking about this outside noise shit, Virgil, doesn't he? But, like, let's be frank about it, El Capitan. Any team losing 4 is going to get grief from all angles. And especially if you're at the likes of a Liverpool Football Club. So I don't think you should talk about plugging the noise, but you should be hearing it because it needed to be changed. And sometimes some harsh words are required. But we looked much, much better tonight. And hopefully we can build on that. Where are we at? This one. ESG Soccer said, I said this summer, but feel more correct that Ekitike was our best summer signing. Sad to see Frimpong get injured already. I just don't see where Frimpong's going to fit into this team because I don't see his ability to really play as a fullback. You know, I know at Leverkusen he was more of a wing-back. I don't see him having enough to play as a right winger for us. And for me, Bradley is a better fit at right back, especially if Bradley can do what he did tonight and keep up that level of performance because I thought he was immense when he came on. Mohammed said, wish we played like this against United, still hurts. Same for me, mate. You know, that was my first time over in 3 years. That was a bucket list game for me to see Liverpool United, and to see us lose it was tough. Lee said, Salah not scoring wouldn't bother me so much if he passed. Twice in 2 games he took a shot rather than pass. Big Shaq said, yes, in that formation. Thank you, mate. I like the formation as well. And like I said, I thought we looked more balanced. Damien said, when are you moving to the new studio? So it should hopefully be finished being built by mid-November. But then we've got to kit it out and we're going to have a table built. So truly, I don't want to move into it till it's 100%. So I'd be surprised if I'm in it before January. Because like I said, we got to order all the equipment and stuff to kit it out once it's built. Measure up a few things. So yeah, I'm hoping early January. Nathan Foster, appreciate you, mate. Thank you. Aaron Garza said, imagine this formation when Grav gets back. Also, Bradley, truly impressed. So, can I ask you guys for your thoughts on Curtis Jones tonight as well? Because I thought he looked very good against Manchester United when he came on. And I think he carried that into the start he got tonight from Arna. And I think he put in one hell of a good performance. So, give Curtis his flowers for me for that performance. We weren't that awesome. The competitor was woeful. Well, look, mate, you can be half glass full, half glass empty. I choose to feel that we were very good. Up to you, how you take it, mate. I'm taking a win and I'm taking some positivity. Thank you very much. Great game from Jones, said Nolan H. Jones was good, said Cryptononymous. Marco said Jones was class. Jason Curry said Curtis Jones' best performance. Also, Wirtz and Hugo should play together and they have chemistry. Right, where was I at? David said, just a little reminder what we have with balance. Yep, agreed. Jim, thank you. Jim Zay, appreciate you, sir. M said VVD much better with Robbo on his side. Yep, looked far more comfortable. And Andy Robertson had a very good game, by the way. So let's give him credit as well. Go Do Fanfield said, hope dropping Salah will wake him up, but can't wait for Wirtz to click. Well, tonight seemed like Wirtz was finding his rhythm, right? And look, the energy levels were just better all around the pitch today. Jerry Z said, what would you call tonight's formation? I think it was a 4-4-2, Jerry. That's what I'd call it. You know, obviously in-game things can shuffle and be moved around, but if you wanted to just pigeonhole it into one formation, I'd say 4-4-2. Frozen said, delayed flight again before the weekend, please. Yeah, good show. Just for not squaring that past the Wirtz should rule him out of the weekend game. Mo is playing for Mo and not the team. Look, it's hard. Look, I'll bring it up again. It's hard to defend not squaring that ball. Like, I hadn't seen it in real time. I was more focused on Mo's chance. But look at that. It's criminal not to square that ball. It's selfish not to square that ball. There's no other word for it. And if it was any other player, we'd be all saying the same thing. It's selfish. Nathan Foster said, back to 4-2-3-1 on Saturday with Salah starting. Better not be. You know, why make a change? And I'm not necessarily just talking about Salah here. Why make a change to the formation? See it work, see confidence grow, and then revert back. No, we should keep going like this. And if he wants to tinker with it again during the November international break, or maybe fine-tune it a bit, fair enough. But for me, it's got to be the same formation again. 2 assists for Wirtz. Come on, lad. Yeah, delighted for him. And he could have had 3, because remember the one that Chiesa hooked over his shoulder? That would have been another one from Wirtz because he headed the ball back into the penalty area. Aidan O'Keefe said, need to play without Mo to settle the team for AFCON. Now is the time when not 100%. A lot better, but need a settled defence. Agree. Again, we were too easily played around when we gave the ball away for that opening goal. Chris Tatton Music said, Mo cannot start on Saturday. Top performance today. And thank you for being with us for 22 months as well as a member. So Arne Slot has confirmed that Alexander Isak was taken off due to him feeling his groin. So a groin, let's just call it a strain for the minute there for Isak. So that confirmed from Arne Slot. He said he had to come off. He felt his groin a bit. So obviously he'll be assessed. And, you know, if he doesn't start at the weekend, then for me, it's a very simple change. Put Chiesa into his position. You know, same setup. Just put Chiesa in there alongside Ekitike. That's what I'd do. Stian Christensen said, without Salah, 31 matches, goals, 67 goals conceded, 31 average goals scored per match, 2.16 average goals conceded per match, 1. Look, whatever happened past, mate, I just tried to take it in the here and now. And in the here and now, Salah just doesn't look himself. And there's extenuating circumstances for it, but the manager has to address it, and tonight he did, and we played better. Tom Uri said, bit late to the show, much better performance all over. Question for you, Craig. If we were to go to a 4-4-2, what would your starting lineup be if everyone was fit? Because it seems like we were that today. So if everybody was fit, Alisson, Bradley, Kanade, Virgil, Robertson, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Wirtz ahead, Chiesa right, Ekitike striker, and maybe Gakpo off the left. Something like that. Yeah, off the top of my head. Something like that. Kieran Kelly said, this team was assembled for life after Salah, so let them play that way. Salah's form will return. Don't count him out yet. I agree. I'm not counting him out, mate, but you're also right with the first part of what you said. this is looking towards the future. And Carragher was saying as well that Mo shouldn't be a guaranteed starter these days, and that's probably right. But if he shows form and he gets back to what we know he can be, then absolutely no problem in him coming back in. Alan said, great job, Craig. Love Mo, but no player is bigger than the club. Flo Wirtz is lately now one of our family, said Rene. Chiesa, chat, is Chiesa a right winger? So we'll all answer yes. But at Juventus, he actually played more minutes through the centre than he did off the right. But if you were to ask him what position he plays, he'd probably say he's a winger. Adam Christmas said, Isak and Ekitike in form together will be lethal. Absolutely, sir. Sean O'Neill said, sorry for what you've been going through, Craig. Thanks for the stream. Do you think a diamond 4-4-2 would work? Grav, CDM, Wirtz, Cam, 2 up front then? Yes, absolutely. Like, tonight is a great jumping off point for Arne to start finding something that works for the group of players as he's assembled. Right, let's check the man of the match poll. So, we've nearly 7,500 votes. If you haven't voted, we'll give it another couple of minutes and then we'll call it a night. So, last few shouts for a vote for man of the match. And don't forget, Salah deserves respect. He's our idol. Nobody's not respecting him. This is the shit that winds me up. Everybody has gone over way to talk about what he did in the past and the legend he is. But respect is also earned. And ask, where was the respect for Wirtz in this situation, mate? We're all talking about respect. Salah's our idol. Well, idols do the right things. Idols are role models. Idols are team players. Look at that situation there and tell me that the right decision was made shooting. Because it wasn't. It was selfish. And he deserves criticism when it's deserved. Same as anybody else. Didinho said, people forget how selfish Mo is. Not new. Steen Christensen said, Liverpool scores just over 2 goals per game without Salah. This team has had several games with many goals even without him. Well, we also know we're going to be without him for a prolonged period, over January time. JF99 said, to be honest, Craig, Salah does that at 1-1 also. I didn't realise how bad it was initially. Until somebody pointed it out to me, and then the lad sent me the screenshot of it. There's just no, nothing that I can say other than it wasn't good enough and it was selfish. Niteroy said Isak groin injury. Oh no, hopefully it's not too bad, dude. But you're right, Arne did confirm that he felt his groin and that's why he was taken off. So here's some comments from Arne Slot on Dominic Szoboszlai. He said, since I'm here, Dom has played nearly as many minutes as Virgil and Mo. That shows you what I think of him. Look, Dom has been incredible. Definitely, in my opinion, our player of the season so far. Yeah. I think he's incredible. Definitely been our best player this season. Where was I? Blah said, almost all of Liverpool's team who've won a major have had a scout in the starting 11. It's in the club's history and culture. Jones is the man. Well, Jones deserves to carry on getting minutes because came on against United, played very well, backed that up today with another good performance. I'm looking forward to the player ratings. And if you would like to submit your player ratings, by the way, folks, don't forget to scan this QR code and join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp because the link has been posted in there to submit your ratings. Right. Jim Z said, bro, please talk about Szoboszlai. He's always wonderful, so underrated. He was written off by a lot of people, mate, last year, and it wound me up something fierce because he's a brilliant player. And what I keep saying, Jim, about Dom is, I remember one comment in the summer when we signed Wirtz and we were looking at bringing all the attacking players, and he came out with something along the lines of, I'm not giving up my position without a fight. And he's doubled down and backed up what he said because he's been incredible. Incredible. TOTT2KZ1 said, hopefully that's the start of Wirtz now in a Liverpool shirt. Says, Szoboszlai makes me very, very happy. Well, you could change that word, the last word, keep it starting with H, and, we probably wouldn't be too far away either, dude, would we? Because, yeah, he's a special player. So, James Pearce has said, another hamstring issue for Frimpong, and Arne Slot says he expects him to be out for a few weeks. Lewis Steele has a comment from Arne about injuries. He said, Alex was well prepared to play, but the margins are small. I'm hoping this is not this bad. If he would be out for a few weeks, that would throw him back. Jeremy is a hamstring issue. he had to go off. So as we expected, another few weeks there. So a chance for Conor Bradley to really establish himself now as Liverpool's starting right back. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the man of the match poll. So your Anfield Agenda man of the match with 7,800 plus votes cast and 42% of the vote is Dominic Szoboszlai, and I think you'll all agree with me, very, very, very well deserved. Yeah. Jim Z said, I come for poverty, still donating to you, full of love. One day, hope I can meet you at a match. Love you, man. Huge love. Hope I meet you one day. Mate, if we're ever in the same place together, it'd be my pleasure to have a picture with you, to have a chat with you. I'm never doing any more live shows over on stage. You know, the one in Liverpool I said was my last one, and it is going to be. But I've always said I'm happy to do meetups. You know, if we go to Hungary or Spain or any other country, happy to come across, meet supporters clubs, watch games with fellow Reds. And I'm humbled by your support and your kind words, mate. Thank you. And I hope life goes better for you. And look, I know what it's like to not have a pot to piss in, mate. I really do. My life's changed thanks to you guys over the past 5-6 years. Really over the past 2-3 years. But all I'm going to say to you is the same thing I said to myself. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep backing yourself and keep putting yourself out there, and good things will come. 1-3-VD is gone. Who do you think will be the skipper? Dom. You know, I know it's a big Dom loving tonight, but honestly, Dom, based off what we're seeing, I think he's incredible. If Mark Gay came in, genuinely think there could be a shout there for him as well, because I think he has leadership qualities. But yeah, Dom for me, off what we're seeing right now. Right, Queen Nadra, last super chat before we finish up, and then I'm going to go record the player ratings video. Queen Nadra said, great win tonight, but I'm still sceptical about this team. I just don't see us winning major trophies this season, maybe top 4. Well, you can never write us out of the Champions League, because if we peak at the right time, like PSG, it could happen. I'm certainly not thinking we're favourites, Queen Nadra, for the league or anything like it at this point, but, you know, maybe playing catch-up will be easier for us, a bit of less pressure on us trying to catch Arsenal. So let's wait and see. Hopefully this is the start of good things to come. And, you know, I don't think any of us are getting carried away, but it's just great to have a win back after 4 losses on the bounce. So look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all of your support, for all of your comments, for everything. You guys are amazing. If you've enjoyed the stream, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well. We also have a Clips channel, Anfield Agenda Clips. It's our dream to get that to 100,000 subscribers. I think we're at about 55, 56k at the minute. So if you can, please search Anfield Agenda Clips and you will see all the best bits of our streams and shorter form content up on there. You can also find the Anfield Agenda podcast on Spotify and here on YouTube, so whichever one suits you better. You can get the video podcast on both, and we're recording another episode of that on Friday. One came out yesterday, and I'm off to record the player ratings video. So if you've already submitted your ratings, thank you very much, and yeah, much love to all of you. Really couldn't do it without you. Your support means the world to us.